Hey everybody, I'm Andy.
I'm Matt.
We're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and this is Comics from the Future, our big show where we go over some of the biggest and best books that you can pre-order this week. You know, all your pre-orders are due Sunday, so don't miss out on that. We've got some really great comics to go over today. Just looking at the list, like some very big titles. We're getting into, you know, February
I think so.
timeframe.
Yeah. Late January, early February to mid-February on a couple of these, yeah.
Yeah, so we're already, you know,
well, shoot, here's a near the end of February. It's all over the place.
It's all over the
February,
place. Yeah, we're not even at the end of the year and we're already talking about February books.
Yeah.
But now is the time to get your pre-orders in so you don't miss out on any of the good stuff. So let's get in. Make sure to follow along over at infinityflux.net where you can place your orders. You don't miss out on anything. So, starting with our featured comics.
And our first featured comic is Ultimate Black Panther #1. So this is our second ongoing book in the new Ultimate Universe. We're going to get Ultimate Spider-Man in January, and then this is the second of those. This one's written by Brian Hill. The art is by Stefano Caselli, whose art I love, so I cannot wait for this. But the story details on this one are a little bit light. We don't know the specifics. All we know is just the generalized story of Khonshu and Ra are teaming up to expand their control over Africa. So, you know, the minute they said Khonshu, I'm like, oh, does that mean we're going to get an Ultimate Moon Knight at some point? Like, how does that, why is Khonshu doing whatever? But yeah, Khonshu and Ra teaming up to take over Africa, and Wakanda sends in their king to defend them, their king being T'Challa, Black Panther, and I do believe that is T'Challa, and he is still the king of Wakanda, still Black Panther. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's all we know for right now. We do know, like, we saw the cover for issue 3 the other day.
It's got
Killmonger and Storm.
Yep.
So more to come on this series, but it sounds awesome. So I'm very much looking forward to. I just want to see this new Ultimate Universe because it's so different than the last Ultimate Universe. Can't wait to see it.
What's so different about this is the other Ultimate Universe. It kind of we started at the beginning of a lot of the characters.
Yeah.
With this, it's like we're already dealing with Khonshu and Black Panther's already the king of Wakanda. We're kind of jumping into a weird like. Everything's been going for a little while, other than Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But, we'll have a lot of fun talking about these books on the show.
Oh, for sure.
Let us know. We could even do like a whole special, like, what's up with the new Ultimate Universe? Because it's so crazy.
We could do our Ultimate Special, which sounds like a Dragon Ball Z movie or something. But anyway, so here's our A cover. We also have a BOSSLOGIC variant.
There's
Storm right there. We have a Karen Darboe variant. And then we have a travel foreman variant. The costume, the cutout of the mouth reminds me of like the 2 issues of Avengers in the 70s where he had that, and then that like I said, it lasted for 2 issues, and then he went back to the full mask. So maybe he'll do that in this.
I do like that. There's going to be a way to differentiate the costumes. Be like, oh, that's Ultimate Black Panther.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Ghost Machine. This is a one-shot, and I keep wanting to say it kicks off. It really doesn't because we have Geiger and Junkyard Joe, but this does kick off the Ghost Machine imprint from Jeff Johns, and it seems like everyone Jeff Johns has ever worked with is also coming on board for this. So we do have what's going to be the Geiger universe. I'm not sure exactly what that.
It's the unnamed.
Yeah,
is it the unnamed?
It's the pseudo superhero timeline that has Red Coat and all those, but we are also getting other characters that are going to be featured in this because this is going to be a 48-page special kind of introducing you to Ghost Machine and all the books that are going to be coming out from those and the creators involved. So I'm very excited about this, especially if you really like Geiger. You know, I love Geiger. I thought it was super cool. I want more of it. We're going to be getting a Geiger ongoing series next year. But along with that, we're going to be getting a lot of other really cool characters. We're getting, let's see, Geiger, Redcoat, the Rockefellers, Rook, who I believe that's the character in the center.
That's one of them, yeah.
Yeah. And you're going to have the biggest talent involved in this. So, of course, you got Jeff Johns. You got Pete Tomasi, famed DC writer. We got Brad Meltzer, who I loved Identity Crisis, which was Brad Meltzer. Lamont McGee, Matel Zoot. And we got art by Brian Hitch, Jason Fabok, Francis MANAPUL, Ivan Reis, Gary Frank. You just named like all my favorite DC event books with all of those.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about this. Don't miss out on this because I'm sure this will be a lot of first appearances, but also just the perfect kind of menu. So you can look through read some of these and be like, which one of these suits me?
Yeah.
So don't miss out on this one. I think it's going to be great. This is our A cover. We got a lot of covers for this, so you can also see a lot of the different art that we're going to be getting and some of the characters. So this is the A cover by Gary Frank. We've got the Gary Frank Geiger cover. We've got this Brian Hitch cover with red coat. We've got Jason FABOK, which I'm super excited about seeing Jason FABOK come back.
I love his work so much.
I feel like I haven't seen him on anything in quite a while. So that's going to be great. We've got Francis MANAPUL, which I love. We've got another Jason FABOK. We've got SNEJBJERG. Ivan, actually, this looks like...
I think it's Ivan Reis. Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, this is Ivan Reis. And then we have another Ivan Reis, which those two...
Polar opposites.
But, you know, the pose.
Yeah.
And the pose.
Oh,
they're similar, but they're...
Oh.
So this is called, like, Hyde or something like that. So it's going to be really cool.
It happened on Hyde Street is what it says.
And then we have this really fun one that's the Mr. X-Ray glasses. Yeah. This is called the Ad Graphic variant. So pretty fun. I like this kind of homage back to just classic comic books.
Yep.
So definitely don't miss out on Ghost Machine because I think this is going to be a really great starting point to get into a bunch of new books.
Oh yeah, I'm excited about it for sure. Next is Titans Beast World Tour Star City. So just like the Beast World Tour Gotham and Metropolis, this book is going to tell us what's going on in Star City while the entire Beast World event's going on. So it's going to, just like the other ones, it's going to feature, I think, 3 different stories. The first one is Oliver Queen and Connor Hawke teaming up, which is always great to see father and son together again. They're going to investigate rumors of experiments taking place in a city aquarium. There's going to be a story featuring Black Canary and Red Canary, which we haven't seen her in a while. Black Canary succumbs to Beast Boy spores, so I guess she's going to get turned into some kind of beast. And then Red Arrow and Stargirl from the Lost Children miniseries, which was really fun. They're going to team up again to protect the city from the JSA.
Wow.
So what does that mean? Like, I guess the JSA are going to succumb to Beast Boy spores as well. But we have been loving the Beast World story so far. The first 2 issues of the main story were fantastic. The Metropolis and the Gotham tie-ins were really good too, and I expect this one to be equally as awesome. This is our A cover from Michael Janin. We've also got a CULLY HAMNER variant, and maybe that's what, I don't know. I don't think that's what Black Canary is going to look like. I think that's like an homage.
I hope so.
That's
because that'd be real fun.
Yeah. And then we have a JANG variant as well, and there's your Alan Scott and Jay Garrick. So Stargirl and Red Arrow fighting those guys would be awesome.
Yeah. Okay, next up we got Star Wars Mace Windu #1. This is a new mini-series. This is really exciting because we are coming up, we'll be talking about here in a minute. Dr. Aphra is ending at issue 40. We've got Star Wars Bounty Hunters ending at, I believe, 42. Something around there. So a lot of them are ending, but we're getting some new stuff coming along. And starting that is this Mace Windu miniseries. So this is going to be by Mark Bernardin, and Georges Genti is doing the art, who is the artist on the Mandalorian comic. So that'll be great. This is set before the Clone Wars, which I always love because we haven't got a ton of stories, especially like currently in canon, that happen pre like episode 1, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Feels like that's kind of when this takes place.
Anything before the prequels is like hundreds of years ago, like High Republic stuff.
Yeah, we don't have anything just like right before. Yeah. But in this, Mace has to stop a terrible secret from falling into the wrong hands. And there's a new character they're featuring pretty heavily in a lot of the solicitations and the interviews and everything, called Anita Cruz. That's Cruz with 2 U's and a Z.
I tell you what, I need a Cruz too after...
I need a Cruz. Yeah. Who is a pirate with a deadly secret. I don't know if it's the same secret they're trying to keep, but maybe. And the Hutts and the Republic are in a race to obtain the secret. It seems like Mace kind of has to get it out of there, whatever it's going to be. But I'm very excited about this, and especially with some new characters they're really hyping up that we're probably going to keep on seeing coming. So this is our A cover for that. We also have this Davy Go variant. It's very cool. Looks like we're going to get some Yoda. And this really nice Ken Lashley cover for Black History Month.
Yeah, that was cool. Next is Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver #1. So this is sort of the next Scarlet Witch series. The last one wrapped up with issue number 10, written by Steve Orlando, and this one is also written by Steve Orlando. The art is by Lorenzo Tometa. So just kind of like the next chapter in Scarlet Witch's story, but now Quicksilver is going to be a main part of the book as well. And in this one, though, they are, they're brother and sister. They love each other. But in this one, they're kind of driven apart because Wanda finds a letter from the, as of right now, deceased Magneto, although he's coming back. We know that. But she doesn't want Pietro to read that letter, so she burns it before he gets a chance, but he finds out about it. And he gets pretty mad, and it sort of, drives a wedge between them. But they will need to find a way to reforge their bonds because an upgraded wizard, like, the wizard, like the Frightful Four, the big purple, helmet. I love that guy, by the way. He's fantastic. But he's upgraded, and he is coming after them, and they're going to have to, reconcile their differences and team up to take him on. So if you enjoyed the last Scarlet Witch series, definitely don't miss this one because I'm sure it's going to be just as good as the last one. So we have our A cover right here. We got several for this actually. Now, this says the 25. This is a Ricky Yagawa.
Oh, that might have slipped in.
Yeah, so I think that's a 1 in 25. But then we have the Insignia variant. Yeah. We have the Luciano Vecchio. This is a foil variant, and I love that cover. Yeah, that's going to look really good at foil. Apollo Sakura. Marvel 97 cover.
So they're wearing like their 97
era
clothes.
Rose Besh. There's a Rose Besh cover, which looks really good, and a Scotty Young cover because, like we say, you cannot start a new series without a Scotty Young cover, and there is that one.
Okay, next up we have Dead X-Men. Of course, it feels like a thing you can say a lot recently in the X-Men books. There's even more Dead X-Men.
Dead X-Men in the book is all of them.
So this is Dead X-Men. I'm sure this is going to be a mini-series. I couldn't find exactly how many issues. Probably 4 to 5, if I was to guess. But this is going to be written by Steve Fox, and the art is by Vincenzo Caratu. And in this, the 5 X-Men that were lost their lives from what I believe is from the Hellfire Gala attack, because there was a lot of characters that died in that moment. So I think that's where these are coming from, are having to come back, and there's a special mission that they've got to go on. How do they come back, considering the 5 who can resurrect mutants isn't exactly like all in one place at one time where they can do this? We'll have to see. But sounds really cool as we are heading into the kind of later stages of the Fall of Krakoa. So I'm excited to see what this is going to be, who all these characters are going to be, and what role they're playing in this. So this is our A cover for that. We also have the Wolverine variant by Kevin Eastman, which is a great homage of New Mutants 98.
Yeah.
But this time, kind of the roles are reversed. And this is the Lucas Wernick variant, which I'm wondering if this is some of the characters that died we're going to be seeing.
Possibly.
So maybe Dazzler, Jubilee. Can't tell who everyone is from here, but I'm very excited to see this. And it looks like they're still sporting their Hellfire Gala costumes.
Well, if they died in that, then maybe that's all they've got right now. They don't have a uniform.
They're going to be those fabulous team of X-Men.
Next is mine is Rebel Moon House of the Blood Axe. This is the first issue of a 4-issue miniseries. This is written by Mags Visaggio and Zack Snyder. Art is by Clark Bent, and now this is a prequel to the Rebel Moon movie that's going to hit Netflix next week. So very excited to see that. This is a prequel to that, sort of introducing us, or giving us a little bit, not introducing us because the movie will come out first, but giving us a little bit of insight into what happened before the events of the movie. War is looming on the horizon of the planet Shasu, which I guess we're going to see in the movie. The leader of the Blood Axe family, they kind of have to, they're conflicted between the, between living up to their fathers, like ruling with an iron fist, but also they want to keep the peace. So it's like, are they like their father, or do they more, try to do with their own thing and be peaceful? And he's going to have to settle the conflicts within himself and his family before the entire planet erupts in war, which maybe it does erupt in war. Maybe that's what the movie's about. So it's kind of hard to talk about right now because this is such an unknown property. Well, it'll make more sense at the end of next week when we all watch this movie.
Yeah.
But if you watch it and you like it, then pick this up because it's going to give you more story about the movie. So we have our A cover right here. This is by ARTGERM.
Yeah.
We have a Albuquerque variant, and then we have a Rivas variant.
Very cool. You know, seeing all these things, like, it all looks cool. Well, I want to see the movie to actually see who are these people.
Yeah, who are these people? Yeah, and are they in the movie at all?
Yeah.
There they are.
Okay, next up we have Edge of the Spider-Verse. Yes, we are getting another Edge of the Spider-Verse. Apparently, End of the Spider-Verse was not actually the end of the Spider-Verse.
It was the end of that Spider-Verse thing.
Well, it's the end of Spider-Verse for Peter Parker.
Oh, that's
Kind of what they said. So another mini-series of this, which is going to, each issue is going to contain probably about 2 stories featuring different Spider-Verse characters and introducing new ones. So this first one is going to be by Jackson Lansing, is writing the first story. And they do say this is building to the biggest Spider-Versal story ever. Which, how do you top the last multiple ones?
Yeah, there's been 3. So yeah. I don't know how you get bigger than that.
But this first story is who is Weapon 8? So when Weapon X gets out of the facility, they send in their next best creation, which was Weapon 8, to hunt him down, which looks a little bit like Cyclops if he was...
I think it is. I mean, who else has yellow and blue with red?
With red, yeah. But I think it looks really cool. The costume's pretty neat with kind of those Iron Spider legs coming out the back. So that's one of the stories. And the other one is the return of Spider-Bite, who made their debut, or not their debut, but their big screen debut in the Spider-Verse movie. So very cool in there. This is our A cover for that. We have our Chris Allen Stormbreakers variant with Spider-Punk.
That looks good.
Yep. And we have this Derek Chu Spider-Gwen variant.
That looks good too.
More like Spider-Gwen and Friends.
Right. Spider-Gwen and her amazing friends, right?
Yep. And we also have, this one's really cool. We're kind of looking at, see who all the characters on there. This is the Asrar variant. And this is the Pete Woods homage variant.
Those are all great.
Yeah. Really good covers.
The next is Wolverine Madripoor Knights #1. This is going to be I think it's a 5-issue miniseries, written by Chris Claremont, art by Edgar Salazar. Now, this takes place during the events, or right around the time of Uncanny X-Men #268, which is that famous cover from Jim Lee with Captain America, Wolverine, and Black Widow. They're all kind of standing in that pose. So this is going to that event is going to lead, that comic is going to lead into this miniseries. Captain America comes to Madripoor to investigate this top secret weapon, and Wolverine and Black Widow eventually become embroiled in that as well, and they enter into a race against time where they have to go up against a whole bunch of foes, including the Hand, which is the Hand is always cool. It's always, I love seeing Wolverine fight ninjas.
Yeah, especially Madripoor is like a perfect place for that.
Yeah, and Captain America doesn't fight ninjas that often, so to see him fight the Hand is really, and then Black Widow sort of kind of goes right in between. So very, very cool. That original issue was great, just seeing those characters together, and we're going to get a whole other story of them in this. So this is our A cover right here, and then we have a Carlos Magno variant. And we did say on Wednesday that there's also a Uncanny X-Men 268 facsimile book coming out, or on FOC the same weekend. That's actually a poster.
Yeah.
We were kind of bummed out. We were wanting to get like a fresh copy of the book, but there, if you look in previews, it's there, but
sometimes it cuts off the bottom that says poster, so it just says facsimile.
That's literally what it said. It said Uncanny X-Men 268 facsimile edition. We're like, oh, sweet. But then if you go into the page, it says facsimile edition poster. So you got us, Previews World. Yeah. But we're still getting a cool comic out of it.
Next up, we've got other #1s. Before we get into that, just want to remind you to head over to infinityflux.net right now, where you can pre-order these comics we were talking about. Everything you pre-order, you get 10% off of. Go over there, sign up for a subscription so you never miss an issue, get it mailed directly to you, or stop by the store and pick it up if you are local. All that good stuff over at infinityflux.net. And don't forget, we still have the store special coupon code.
Promo code.
That's what it's called. Promo code that you can use at checkout. And it's only for the first time you use it, but you can get an additional 10% off your order. So a bunch of great stuff. But let's get into more of the comics with more #1s. Starting with, this is actually a trade paperback, but I wanted to feature it because this is really cool. This is Bad Dream, A Dreamer Story. And this is going to be by Nicole Maines, who portrayed Dreamer in, was it Flash?
She started in Supergirl.
Supergirl,
but she was part of the whole era.
Yeah, and then became a big part of that. But we've seen Dreamer pop up in a ton of stuff, starting with Superboy or Superman with John Kent,
Right.
and then just recently a big thing happened with her with Amanda Waller, and that's going to be continuing on. So the thing we've never got is her origin story, and that is what this graphic novel is going to be. So it's Dreamer's origin story by Nicole Maines and Rye Hickman. And in this, Nia Now, who is Dreamer, has spent her whole life kind of playing second fiddle to her sister, who is destined to take over her mother's abilities to see the future. But as we know now, that Dreamer starts getting these visions and stuff, so she has to hide that. It seems like her sister would be mad if she learned, like, oh no, you inherited this.
Yeah.
So she has to keep it hidden to keep her relationship with her sister. But is that going to go well? Who knows? But I've seen some preview pages. Looks really fun, so I'm very excited about this. And of course, because it's a trade paperback, there's only one cover, and this is also retailing for $16.99.
Next is DC Power 2024. So this is next year's edition of the DC Power one-shot that they've been coming out with, featuring a whole bunch of different writers, a bunch of different stories, all spotlighting some of the black heroes of the DC universe. So we're going to get cool stories from Far Sector, featuring the first meeting between Joe Mullen and John Stewart. But I thought they had met before, so maybe it's a flashback to their first meeting. We're going to get a Duke Thomas the Signal story, where he's going to find inspiration from an unlikely ally. We're going to get a story with the Spectre and Renee Montoya. We're going to get a story with Thunder and Lightning, who is Black Lightning's daughters, where they go up against Condiment King.
Yes.
So, you know, that sold me right there. There's going to be a story with Bloodwind, who, you know Bloodwind from the 90s Justice League book, but then now they're bringing him back proper. So we're going to a new Bloodwind story. There's going to be a Superman Val Zod story, and then a story featuring Queen Nubia and Mr. Mixes-Piddling. I don't know what that's going to look like, but what's going to bring them together?
She wouldn't take any of his nonsense.
Oh, for sure. She would just like make him say his name backwards and he would disappear. So just a whole bunch of really cool stories from a bunch of different great artists. So we have our A cover right here. We have a Jamal Campbell. This is a wraparound cover. And then there is a Dennis Cowan variant as well.
And just like DC, Marvel is also doing theirs with Marvel Voices. So this is their annual thing. Now they do it multiple times a year with different kind of different mixes of characters and stories and everything. But this is the one for Black History Month with the only writer I could see on this was David F. Walker, but we're getting stories about Sam Wilson, Captain America, which you can see on there. We are getting Misty Knight, and it's a special Misty Knight story because she is going up approaching 50 years of publication history.
Wow.
So Misty Knight about to celebrate her 50th anniversary. And Elijah Bradley makes his return as Patriot, which we haven't seen Patriot in a while.
That's right.
So I hope, that's bringing him into the forefront for a while. Also, you can see on there, we've got Blue Marvel, just a lot of really cool characters that I'm excited to see what stories they will have. So we've got a couple of covers for this. This is our A cover. We've also got this Edwin Gallman variant with Black Panther. We have this Manahini cover with Deathlock. And we have the Sean Damian Hill variant with Luke Cage.
Next is Dear Editor #1. This is going to be a 3-issue miniseries from Mad Cave. And this one sounds great. So it's written by Ryan Lindsay. The art is by Sammy Cavella. And there's a journalist named Bucky who is lured into a world of political intrigue when they start to investigate a mysterious murder. Oh, but Bucky is a deer. That's exactly what the solicitation says. It gives you all this detail, and then the next sentence, oh, but he's also a deer. So, dear editor, that kind of thing, play on words. But does him being a deer, are there other anthropomorphic animals, or is it just him in a world of humans?
Like Jack Horseman. Just a character with a deer for a head.
Or is it going to be like, Jeff Lemire's book for DC?
Vertigo? Oh, yeah, Sweet Tooth.
Sweet Tooth, yeah, it's something like that. I don't know, but you've got a deer who's investigating a murder, and what's that going to look like for him? I don't know, but
those antlers going to be hard getting through some of those tight spaces.
Yeah, maybe I hope he doesn't dash out in front of a car and somebody gets hurt. But there is this is the only cover. It's just one cover.
And next up, we've got Blue Book 1947 #1. So we had the previous Blue Book series by James Tynion and Michael Avon Oeming, and they are returning this time with Blue Book 1947. So I'm not sure if all the stories are going to be set around 1947, because these are, of course, It's a nonfiction stories of people's encounters with extraterrestrials, weird things, UFOs, all of that, UFO abductions. But it's called 1947, and our first story takes place in 1947. But this is not a one shot; there is continuing. So the first story is a pilot who witnesses a flash of light while flying, and then a strange encounter with unidentified flying objects. But if you like the previous one, make sure to sign up for this one because it's a new series. Your store may not automatically just add you to this new one. So if you like the first one, make sure to subscribe to this one. So this is our A cover by Michael A. von Oeming. We have this Fabio Moon variant, which I really like. We have a Mike Allred variant, which I would love to see. Just a sure he's done something similar, but just Mike Allred doing an alien book. Yeah, just a straight this looks a little like Twilight Zone-ish. Love it. And then we have a Hamner variant. Very creepy.
Next is Crashdown. So this is a 4-issue miniseries. It's going to be a 4-issue miniseries. Written by Tom Garcia and Ryan Sargent of the Comic Tom 101 YouTube channel. If you guys watch that, this is those guys. And the art is by Ben Templesmith. So they teamed up with a legendary artist, Ben Templesmith, to bring this story that is described as equal parts Lost and Alien, but with a Lovecraftian twist. So sold, and sold. I like all of those things. This one says that the Earth is dead. Humanity's last hope is a distant planet called Empyrean. And there's a ship full of colonists ready to get there and ready to establish a new home for what is left of humanity. But what happens when their new home doesn't want them there and fights back? Oh. So, I don't know, like, how's it going to, I just picture like tendrils coming up from the ground and just like slapping at them or whatever. But yeah, a new book from the Comic Tom crew. So that's our A cover by Ben Templesmith. There is a David Mack cover, and then there is a Calero video game homage to Metroid.
Yep. Next up, we've got notable 2s and 3s, continuations of series. We want to make sure you don't forget if you enjoyed the first one, or maybe it hasn't come out yet, but make sure to subscribe to it so you don't miss out. Starting with Star Wars The High Republic Adventures Phase 3 number 2, or High Republic Adventures number 2, because that's the current one going on. In this one, I really like the first issue. I feel like it was maybe the strongest issue of this entire High Republic adventure run, where you have Zine and Quart and 5AG3 are infiltrating a fortress of a Nile warlord who may have information about more survivors of the Starlight Beacon disaster. So sounds really cool. Very excited to check this one out. Loving all this stuff, and don't miss out if you have not checked out any of these, because they are great.
I like the design of those characters. They look cool visually. Yeah. They look cool.
Yeah, so the character in the back, that's Quart with the blue skin, he used to have that like crab mask thing with all the points that I drew for the free comic book. Oh, that's but now he later on he ends up taking it off.
Oh, so I didn't know that was.
It's cool to see the interpretation. So this is our A cover. And then we also have, this is our Berets variant, which this one is super cool.
Next is Avengers Twilight number 2. We haven't gotten we haven't got the first one yet, which is driving me crazy because I really want to read this series. So this is going to be a, I think, is it 6-issue miniseries? Written by Chip Zdarsky, one of my favorites. The art is by Daniel Acuna. The world is against Captain America, or Steve Rogers, I should say. The world is against Steve Rogers, and he's going to have to build an army to save America. We don't really know why, because the first issue hasn't come out yet. But he's going to have to put a ragtag group of people together called the Defenders. They're going to call themselves the Defenders, and they're going up against Bullseye, which should be really cool.
That's crazy to be like in this like weird future. It's like the Bullseye's still there, and he's a threat.
I know. I wonder, is it like regular Bullseye? Like, is he going to be an old man now? Because Steve is looking pretty old in the preview pages for the first one. So is it old man Bullseye?
Old man Bullseye, but he's still sharp as a whip.
He just like, he throws his cane at you or something. I don't know. But we have an A cover right here. Then we have a Daniel Acuna variant as well.
And next up, we got Spider-Boy number 3. We're going to be getting issue number 2 this week. We'll be going over it on our Monday show. Very excited about this one. But this continues because this one, Spider-Boy is facing off against the Toy Soldier, which I think is another one of these new villains that he may have kind of maybe brought with him, or have characters starting to remember.
That is weird. Like, where did they go? Like, when he was undone from reality, they forgot him.
Yeah.
like everybody else did. But then I guess they just
He
like,
also has a lot of villains that happen with too.
oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. It's very similar to the Jay Garrick Flash book, where they also forgot about the characters and their
yeah,
villains. But yeah, because Spider Boy has some of his own villains that
yeah.
he faces off against. And in this one, with against the toy soldier, it says it is the deadliest fighting machine of all time, and this one of a kind collectible can kill. So that just sounds like fun. Just sounds like a fun book. Number one was great.
Number one was wonderful.
Yeah.
It was so good.
And the backup story in this sees Spider-Boy teaming up with Thor to fight a monster from Asgard that is threatening his neighborhood. So,
Which sounds awesome. Thor and Spider Boy, and
Yeah.
they're like there's polar opposites basically. It's gonna be fun to see them interact.
yeah. So this is our A cover for that. We also have our Wolverine variant. This time homaging Spider-Man 300. We have our Vincentini Stormbreakers variant. And we have our Paco Medina Marvel Comics Presents cover, where Spider-Boy is already getting a taste of that Avengers Twilight number.
I know. Where'd you
one.
get that?
Yeah, he took it off of the UPS truck on its way to the
I guess
comic book
so.
store.
Yeah.
One flew out when it got attacked by Rhino. And
Yeah.
he's like, I'll just take this.
Next is Carnage, number 3. We haven't gotten the second issue yet. I think it comes end of December, I think the 27th. But here is the third issue. And Cletus Cassidy, this says is he's going to face a reality-altering face-off, the likes of which the Marvel Universe has never seen. I don't even know what that could be.
Yeah.
Like, I have zero guesses
Marvel Universe
whatsoever.
has seen a lot.
Yeah, but I like the first issue. You know, there's a lot of Carnage stuff. There's a lot of symbiote stuff in Marvel right now. But the first issue I felt was different from those. It felt different. It felt fresh. It's cool to have Cletus Cassidy back. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. So that's our A cover right there, and then we have a Hildebrandt. So we've got a few more of these too. This is the Hildebrandts when they did the Marvel Masterpiece card set back in the '90s. Now they're using some of that for variant covers.
Doesn't get old.
No.
Even though the suits are, look a little bit old, you still see these covers like, whoa, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it takes me back to being like 13 years old or however. They're great.
Next up, we've got Marvel Superheroes Battleworld number 3. It's a long title. And we've only got number 1 of this so far. But this story continues as Spider-Man and Human Torch face Baron Zemo and Hobgoblin's deadly grasp, because they've kind of plucked those characters out of the main Battleworld story, and they've got their own hands full. So really cool. We've got this A cover here. Of course, we got the Hildebrandt cover. We've got the action figure variant by John Tyler Christopher. And we've got the Romero cover that's homaging the old shields they all came with.
Love it.
So very cool.
Next is
cool covers.
Oh, that's right.
Next up is cool covers we want to make sure you don't miss out on.
Avengers number 10. This one, the Avengers are continuing to fight the Twilight Court, but while they're doing that, Mirrodin is getting closer to capturing Kang, because that's what their whole fight is about. The Twilight Court is wanting to get Kang, and the Avengers need him because he has information, so they're button heads. So we're going to get more of that. And this cover is the Corey Smith foreshadowing variant, which is foreshadowing the big vampire event that's coming up.
Maybe this summer?
I think it's like spring maybe like April, May, somewhere around there. So little tease of that.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to get some Blade action.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we've got Sensational She-Hulk number 5. Some great covers for this. And in this issue, She-Hulk is going out on the town with Captain Marvel and Hellcat to her favorite bar. But of course, it's the Marvel Universe, and supervillains are going to crash it. So starting off, we have the Hildebrandt cover, which is very cool. Then we have the Maniolali cover. And we have the Pablo Villalobos variant as well.
And the next is Avengers Inc. number 5. This is the Todd Knock Wolverine variant, just homaging the Infinity Gauntlet. I believe this is the last issue of this series, I think. And all secrets are revealed. So if you've been reading it and there's all these little mysteries, everything's going to come to a head in this issue.
I love that. Also has that like Wolverine, the one that lost his nose. Like Savage Wolverine down in the corner. It's fun to like pick apart what all the different Wolverines are.
All of them.
And next up, we've got Star Wars Dr. Aphra, issue number 40. And the big thing about this is it's the final issue of Dr. Aphra. So Bounty Hunters is ending, Aphra's ending. But I have a feeling because this week, coming up on the Monday show, I'm going to be reviewing the Star Wars Revelations issue that is kind of your tease for what's coming up in the new year of Star Wars stories. We may get some hints at maybe where these characters are going or what books may be replacing them. I don't know, but more info to come on Dr. Aphra's future. This is our A cover, and then we also have the logo variant they've been doing for all of these.
Next is Flash number 5. This is the James Stokoe variant. This is while in this issue, Wally West's powers continue to evolve beyond his understanding, and he has another confrontation with the Stillness. So, if you've been reading this, this is just continuing that first story arc.
Yeah, cool cover though.
Cool cover, yeah.
Next up, we have Harley Quinn number 36. This is our Jenny Frison cover, and in this, Harley is facing off against Brother Eye and the OMAC. So, I feel like classic Infinite Crisis stuff. Very cool. And then also there's a backup story where Harley is Harley the Barbarian. So that's gonna be really cool too. Then we also have, this is the Derek Chu Suicide Squad Kill Arkham Asylum Harley Quinn cardstock variant, but it's there for the new video game coming out.
Sure. Next is Titans Beast World number 5. We just got number 2 this week. And this is the Bjorn Barons variant. This one's, the world is divided. Half of the population is with the Titans. The other half is with Amanda Waller, because we saw at the end of issue 2, she's trying to get like some extreme like government powers bestowed on her. And Dr. Hate is going to return. He was there in issue 2. I don't know if he went away for a bit, but he is coming back to spread more chaos. So the first two issues have been great. Can't wait for this one. So like I said, that's our Bjorn Barons variant. We've got our Javier Fernandez variant, and then there is a Clayton Henry lenticular variant. Now this is the white. Our image got messed up a little bit, so it doesn't have that white border, but it's another one of those lenticulars like the Beast Boy and the Black Adam. We've got
doing this for all of them.
Yeah, and they look great too. They're very, very clear. Once you turn it, like it's a very clear, bright, colorful picture of both sides of the character. Very well done.
Next up, we've got Power Girl issue number 5, and this issue sounds great because it is an issue all about Streaky the Super Cat. And Streaky is, can Streaky save Metropolis from the greatest canine threat? So I like when they do these little like one and done stories just about the fun characters in this.
I'm going to answer yes to that question too. Yes, he can stop.
Yes, he can. Let's have confidence in our Super Cat. So this is the Jeff Spokes cover, and we also have the Raza cover as well. And lastly, we've got graphic novels and more. So some really good stuff like omnibuses and that kind of thing coming up.
Starting with the Captain America by Mark Grunwald Omnibus Volume 1. This is going to be $150, and the solicitation didn't give us the exact issues that it collects, but it's going to collect that era of Captain America written by Mark Grunwald. You've got things like Captain America, Steve Rogers quitting being Captain America, that kind of stuff. All that good stuff is in here.
Very iconic covers in this.
For sure, yeah. So that is our that's one of them, and then there is the the other one. I think that's the direct market cover. Yeah. I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got D-Man on there, Falcon, Nomad,
yeah,
and U.S. Agent.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's Steve Rogers. Yeah, that's when he became U.S. Agent for a little bit. Yeah.
And next up, I've got Miss Marvel, the New Mutant trade paperback. So if you missed out on the sequel issues of this, don't miss out on this one because it was very good. This is 4 issues long, all collected together, written by Iman Vellani, who is Miss Marvel in the MCU. The art is by Carlos Gomez, which is fantastic. And this is the miniseries that kind of brought Miss Marvel into the mutant side of the universe. As she's kind of exploring what does it mean to be a mutant now, facing off against Orcus on the campus of college. Just really, really fun. I can't wait to see what comes after this, but definitely pick this one up if you haven't read it, or if you liked it so much you want it again.
Yeah, because they've already announced her next miniseries, right? Yeah.
And this is going to be $17.99.
And then next is the Immortal Thor trade paperback volume 1. This is collecting Immortal Thor 1 through 5, an annual one. Al Ewing's run, it's been really been pretty epic. Like we just got the 5th issue this week, so that whole first story arc is done, and it felt very big and grandiose and that kind of stuff. And now it's all going to be collected in one book.
That is it for Comics from the Future. A really good week of stuff, so don't miss out on ordering this stuff over at infinityflux.net. Stay tuned for our show coming up on Monday. We'll be going over a lot of the first issues that we talked about, the second or third ones on this, so we can actually tell you accurately about those books to help your ordering as well. Yeah, anything to add?
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on all the social media channels, all that fun stuff. And until next time,
see ya.